Alright guys, so let's talk about the new show that I'm going to be launching here on Square One Games. A couple of weeks back I did a show called Personal Plays Evolved or something like that, and I was talking about how personal plays need to make an evolution because I don't find that they're that entertaining to watch, because a lot of times with those personal plays, they're older games and you know, there's not really much to see there, and I can't cover new games in a personal play format because I don't have 7 million subscribers, and I'll never be able to compete with new games in terms of a let's play format because, you know, a lot of people on the internet already have their favorite commentator that they watch to, you know, see blind playthroughs. So I have to find a way, a little niche, if you will, to be able to, you know, put something like that up on my channel. And personal plays there at the end, especially when I cover games like Dead Space, got real interesting because we started putting challenges on them and trophies on them, and that's when I felt like they were reaching a certain level of potential. And over the years I've thought long and hard about how I can make it even better. And the one thing that really wasn't present in the personal plays was interaction in the comments, because a lot of times when I posted episode 1 of a personal play, I was done with the game already. And I've said, what can I do to create a show where I can keep the level of interaction strong in the comments, get some platinum trophies, and play some games that are, you know, 6 months to a year old, even further than that, right? But not like a new game. What can we do? So I've created a new show called the Navigator, and this is going to be a show where I play a game blind, but you guys are going to be able to navigate my way through that game. Okay, this is the first time in Square One game history where you guys are going to have to work hard to get me a platinum in the game, right? I'm kind of switching those roles around. I work extremely hard. I play games multiple times. I put in crazy amount of editing so that you guys can get your platinum trophies and your gamer score points with ease. So I'm going to flip that script and make it to where you guys have to help me get my platinum. This is how the show is going to work. So when we launch the show, you guys know I always do an episode 0. When I post that episode 0, I would have not played the game yet. Very important. When I post episode 0, I would have not played the game yet. And when I did my old personal plays, by the time I posted episode 0, I was already done with the game. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do in the comments of episode 0, and you can do it throughout the playthrough as well, but especially in episode 0 because I haven't started the game yet, is you're going to put in the comment section tips and tricks on how to get through the game. It can be tips and tricks on how to get a specific trophy or an achievement, but it's your job to just fill that comment section up with as many strategies as you can possibly give me, right? So that I can make my notes here on a spreadsheet that I'm going to be making, and that way I can follow it. Remember, you're trying to help me get my platinum, so I'm going to be using your tips and tricks along the way. If I use one of your tips and tricks, or let's say you're like, hey, I know a cool spot to be able to get this trophy, and it works, I will shout you out in the video. It'll be an interesting interaction experience that we haven't had before on one of my quote-unquote Let's Plays. So, and like I said, when episode 1 drops and 2 drops and 3 drops, you can still post comments, right? Maybe you see me do something in the game, and you're like, hey, that's a prime spot for you to be able to get that trophy. Well, I can always reload checkpoints. Maybe I can get it on my second playthrough, right? So throughout the entire run, you guys are going to be able to interact with me in the comments, okay? And I think that's going to be for an interesting experience. There are going to be times where I need assistance, but maybe you haven't left that specific tip that I need in the comments. You guys know there's all these, like the Knight's Honors trophy in Dark Souls. That's extremely difficult to get without some type of walkthrough. Does that make sense? It took me 250 hours of playing that game to figure it out myself. So in those particular instances, if you haven't covered it in a comment from me, then I will be able to go online using one of my lifelines. I'm going to have 4 lifelines. One of them is a YouTube video, Twitter, Facebook, and just the website in general. I mean, the internet in general, like a forum or something like that, a wiki that I can go on. And I can use those as many times as I want, but they cost me one of the most precious things that's going to be involved with this show, and that's time. The one thing I haven't mentioned yet is that this show will be on a time limit. If you guys go on to certain websites like True Achievements, they have a time limit placed on these games like 45 hours, or it should take you 35 hours to get your platinum. Well, I'm using that time. It'll be in the left-hand side of the screen, and it'll be clicking the entire playthrough. And when that timer hits 0, I hope to have my platinum. You see what I'm saying? I hope you guys have helped me get my platinum. That's kind of the challenge to this whole thing is, can I actually platinum the game in that amount of time? So if I have to use a lifeline, at least for right now, I'm going to say that it's going to cost me 1 hour for each lifeline that I use. Now I can use them as many times as I want to, but for right now, I'm saying it's going to cost me an hour. Over time, we might amend that as a group. We might go 30 minutes or 15 minutes or even longer, right? But I'm saying 1 hour right now. So I'm trying not to use these lifelines because it costs me my time, right? You guys don't want it to cost me my time because here's something else I haven't told you about. Every single time I earn a trophy in this game, I'm going to put $1 in the bank. On the bottom left-hand side of the screen, there's going to be a bank, and it's going to tally up the entire playthrough, okay? Now, I know $1 doesn't seem like a lot, but you got to understand there's roughly 50 trophies in these games, so that's going to be $50. Now, in some playthroughs, you know, if there's a game out there that only has like 20 trophies, then I'll probably up the amount that I put in the bank per trophy. And if there's one with like 70 trophies, I might decrease it a bit. So that'll fluctuate with each playthrough. But I know the first game I'm going to be covering here in the next week or so is going to be $1 per trophy. And that's going to accumulate. So if you guys can help me get all 50 trophies or achievements, then for somebody out there, the winnings is going to be $50. So you guys want me to have the most time possible, and you want to be giving me the most help possible, right? So that we can get that bank raised up enough so that if you win, you'll be able to make that money. And of course, I'll PayPal you the money or send you a gift card or something like that. We always work that stuff out in emails, and I'll announce the winner at the end, so forth and so on. So I can use these lifelines, like I said, as many times as I want to, but it costs. So I'm really dependent on you guys to continuously put up tips and tricks to get me through this, anticipating where you think I'm going to have trouble, based on how I'm playing, where I'm at in the game, my confidence level, all that stuff. You got to figure that out on your own and help me get through it as a group. The one thing I am going to be limiting in the comments, I think, at least for now, we can amend this too later on if we want. But I know, like for instance, Dormouse, I know you've covered Tomb Raider, which is the game I'm going to be playing, by the way, Rise of the Tomb Raider. So I don't think it would be fair if like she just posted a link, you know, and said, here's the entire playlist, because that would kind of ruin it for everybody else who wants to put up tips and tricks. Does that make sense? Now, like I said, going forward, we as a group might say that that's okay. I would prefer in the comments for nobody to really leave a link to a video. Okay. Remember, one of my lifelines is a YouTube video. So if I have to use that, then I will. I would rather you just type out in the comments your tips and tricks and get that up. And yes, it can be every trophy. The point is that you guys put up as much as you can, as much as advice as you can, and then I tackle the series and see if I can utilize some of your strategies. I'm trying to get in and get out, just like I teach you guys. Get in and get those trophies and get out, baby, and get on to the next game. I really want to increase my my platinum count this year and next year and going forward. And it would be nice to sit down on a Monday and play a game for 45 hours and be done by that Friday and have my platinum, and you guys would have helped me on that journey. Another thing we're going to be doing as a contest, and this will be something that happens in episode 0, is you will put in the comments how many trophies you think I'm going to get. So you might say, well, based on the trophy list, I think you're going to get 40 out of 50 in that amount of time. You know, that's with or without advice. I just think at the end of the day, that's the best you're going to be able to do in that amount of time. So what we'll do is we'll tally all those up, right? I'll make a log of them. And let's say at the end of the 45 hours, I've only got 40 out of the 50 trophies. Well, guess what? You hit it right on the money. You guessed 100% accurate. You know, you guessed 40 out of 50. I got 40 out of 50. So I will give you a bonus of $10 at the end of the show. So if I do get all 50 trophies, and you think I'm going to get all 50 trophies, and you guess at 50 out of 50, guess what? You're going to get $60. You're going to get enough money out there to buy yourself a brand new game. Now, in the future, we might do first, second, and third place. I've thought about that too. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that way we can have even more winners. And obviously, once my finances get better, then I can even give out more. But remember, this series is all about me giving back to the community. And remember, you don't have to like and favorite these videos. You don't have to share them. You don't have to do none of that nonsense that other YouTubers say. You just watch and enjoy. And it's my way of giving back to you guys. So hopefully in the future we can, we can increase the prizes. I'm going to have merchandise coming out soon, so maybe I can give away free gear, shirts or hats or whatever. All that stuff's on the table. I'm still open to some suggestions with this, but that's kind of the premise of the series. We're going to call it the Navigator. It will not replace the personal play series. In the beginning, I said that it would just be like a reboot, but I'm going to keep the personal plays, and they're going to now just be hard difficulty playthroughs of a game. In the future, I'll do another video and talk more about all the playlists, since I've done a lot of moving and shaking and rearranging. And oh, I forgot, death counters are coming back to the Navigator. So each time I die, there will be a counter. I've also thought about doing some kind of reward system for that. Let's say I die less than 50 times, maybe there's another $5 bonus. And then if I die between 50 and 100 times, maybe there's another bonus, but it's a little bit less. I've thought about that too. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. And scare counter is coming back. Now, some of these games don't have scares, but I'm still going to have it up there because, on the random, there are times where you get scared in just a normal game. You know what I mean? And I jump scare easy. So all that stuff's coming back per you guys' request. I know Darker, I know you mentioned that you really wanted those counters to come back, but they're coming back. And I think that's about it. Oh, one more thing is, how will you know that I didn't cheat? If I got a 45-hour time limit, let's say, how do you know that I only played less than 45 hours? Well, some games have a timer built into the game, and of course I'll show that at the end of the playthrough, and that will obviously match perfectly with the time. So if it's less than the time, then we're good. I will be editing these videos heavily. I'm not going to show myself farming for 30 minutes, guys, if I'm trying to get headshots with a gun or, stuff like that. If it's an open world game, I'm not going to show me running through the map. This is just not something that it's going to be boring for you guys to watch. However, what I will do is, when you capture footage on a capture card, the raw file stays on the capture card. So I can show you the raw data, and all you gotta do is just add up all the times, and it should be less than 45 hours. And I think that's gonna be the best way for me to prove to you guys that even though I'm editing the series, right, you'll know that I didn't cheat. And I wouldn't cheat. I mean, what would be the purpose of that? The whole purpose is that I'm challenged, and I don't like to cheat when I'm challenged. Yes, there's going to be a little bit of trust on you guys' part with this, because I will be making edits, but if you can't trust me by now after 6 freaking years on this platform, then I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but I will show proof in the final episode when I announce the contest winner, exactly my raw files, my raw data, and how long that stuff took. But it's going to have death counters, guys, scare counters. We got a bank full of money for you guys. Like I said, just watch them and enjoy. I hope you guys enjoy that series. Let me know if you think you want to make any changes now, because like I said, I'm still developing the show and I can still make last minute changes, but for the most part, I feel like I've got us steered in the right direction. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you on the next one. You guys be good.